This is the Zapata Brand Podcast, Quick Hits Edition, with George Zapata, with Coach Diz, and Jersey Jay-Z.
Well, we haven't done a quick hits in a few weeks now, and we better get back on it because we have a lot of stuff coming on. We do have a special guest here tonight also with us. We're going to get to that in a moment. But first, to my left there would be Coach Diz joining us from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Right below him and below me also is Jersey Jay-Z coming in from Dumont, New Jersey with his Special Delivery Jones entry there. But as always, like we always do first, a little house cleaning and shout outs first. House cleaning. We're now a YouTube partner. We made it, guys. We became a YouTube partner today. We do now have the super chats and membership services up and running. So when we do a live broadcast, we'll be able to do that. Also, a couple of shout outs we're going to go to. We have Mike Siegfried right here. Right in front of Epcot Center in Florida. Him and his family down there on vacation, and they're proudly sponsoring the Zapata Brand Podcast t-shirts, which are available. Podcast at thezapatabrand.com. Put your information there. No credit cards though yet. We'll tell you how to do it, and we'll get them out to you as soon as possible. Also, another shout out we have here. This person here actually went to school with us in high school for probably, I would say, which was if she was in Jay-Z's grade, I am not positive.
Yes.
And if Jay-Z, if you could please give her a shout out there.
Yeah, to Lisa Cassio. She owns a Polished Chick Boutique in Hillsdale, New Jersey.
Okay.
She shows us love and, let us put up QR code, and she subscribes and likes.
Good. And what we're going to do here today, this is going to be the first time we're going to do this. We're going to add a fourth member to the chat here. He's backstage right now. He has over 100 victories as an amateur coach. He is the producer of the Zapata Brand Podcast. He's also right now training the kids at the Rocky Boxing Gym. That is Coach Rich, and there he is at Casa del Finch. There over in Netcopec, the one that he's built from the ground up. Wow. I'm sure you've heard on our podcast that Rich does a lot of stuff there with construction, but he also does a great job there. So what I'm going to do right now, let's get into it real quickly. I don't know who's unmuting here. Are we okay? We seem to be okay.
Rich is muted.
Who just muted?
Rich is on mute.
I wasn't sure if I was the one with causing all the static.
No, I think you're okay. I think we're okay now. Okay. So let's get into the things. I know some of the things we have that we have on the list here, but I did not really get into it with you guys. But we do have Jersey Jay-Z. You do have some questions, and the good thing is we got Coach Rich on here too. So it wouldn't just be one person doing it. We have three people that can give us our questions. And first, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go around the horn. But Jay-Z, first, if you could give us the questions.
All right. Tim M. from Wildwood, New Jersey, ask if you can only have one strong asset in boxing, which one would it be? Chin, lightning hand speed, punching power, or great defense?
Well, I think we'll go right around the horn first. We'll go right here with Coach Diz right at the top here. And I know you've been waiting for this question, so give it to me.
So, I mean, I'm just going to go with the great defense. Roy Jones, Mayweather, they have great defense, and you can see that the record is what it is. I think having great defense is one of the big keys in being successful in boxing.
Right, and I tend to agree with you, but I won't go there right yet. Now, Coach Rich, you yourself have modeled yourself in training kids working on their footwork. So defense, maybe that might be your asset that you think was the best. What do you think?
I'm going to agree with this 100% defense. But at the same time, if you only have one good thing, you're in trouble no matter what.
Yeah, I think that says that across the board there. For me, what would I think? I lean more towards having a good chin, and I'll tell you why. I think because in boxing you're going to get hit. I think you got to have some sort of chin. I think a combination of chin and a little bit of power, because speed is one of the things that goes first. That's one of the first things that goes is your hand speed. But if you have power is the last thing to go, and usually your chin kind of hangs in there with your power. I would opt more for having a good chin. That way you can sustain the shots more so down the line. That's just my opinion, but I think I would go with chin first, then probably power. Hand speed you need, but I think also it's a real important that's the first thing that goes, and I think that's real critical in there.
Be
So
like Chavez Jr.
what's
Not
that?
really that good, but you have a hell of a chin.
Yeah, and that was Chavez Senior too. I mean,
Yeah.
Chavez Senior had a great chin, and that was big for him. He definitely he was one of those guys who had a chin and could take a lot of punishment, but he also had power. Footwork wasn't the greatest. He had problems with fast fighters like Meldrick Taylor.
But what
But
about Pernell Whitaker? Didn't have power, but his defense speed was good.
yeah, no, I did. I didn't really like Pernell.
I mean, you
Whitaker.
have like Rich said, you have to have all of them. But if I was going to take one, it would probably be defense.
Okay, and that's good. Jay-Z, do you have one?
No, I, you know what? I would say maybe defense, but you know, I don't know. I'm not
All
sure.
right. Well, it's good. Good that you gave us your opinion. All right. Let's get to the next question there.
All right.
Good.
So Mike M from Butler, PA, asked, "How do you mentally prepare yourself for a fight?"
Wow, that is actually a good question, because we do have fights coming up, and one of them being involved is Leo at 54 years old, getting in the ring November 4th here in Berwick, and that is his first fight there. Uh, and I know both Rich and Coach Diz are working with him. Coach Diz, go with you. You're getting ready for a fight here with Coach Leo. What are you thinking?
So the main thing I would make sure is just make sure you put in enough work. So then mentally, you put that work in and you went that extra mile. That's the main thing. Make sure you have good people around you that will push you. I think Leo has two good people around him to push him. So I would say making sure that you do enough work and you know that you put enough work in.
Yeah, that actually has to be done, and you are working with Rich with Leo, and I think that's important too. But now go to Coach Rich. Rich, you're in there. You're in the grind in the middle there with everything. So let's say you're training Leo here with Coach Diz, and you're there weekly.
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, working with
How
him.
do you? Are you getting back in the locker room? You ready to tape his hands? What do you? How is he? Would you want him to be mentally prepared?
Mentally prepared should be already there, like on the stage. You know what I mean? Like if you're ready to fight, I mean, I feel like acceptance that is going down is key, right? Like the mental part like should already be there. Like Diz said, being prepared is like number one key, because that's going to give you the confidence to be mentally prepared to step in that ring. Right? And what I mean by like acceptance is like I think we all can agree, like anybody that's sparred or is taking a punch to the face, there's a certain fear to it, right? You got to accept it and just put it in the back of your mind and just go forward.
Yeah, and I think with me, and I basically put it like this. Before the fight, I always mentally visualize the fight as to how it's going to go. What would happen if I got hit? What would happen if I got him hurt? I visualize the fight from start to finish, meaning I can't leave any stone unturned before I step in the ring. And what I found out is most fighters do. They visualize themselves winning. They visualize themselves getting hit. They visualize the walk out to the ring, to what they're doing. The music is playing, how their fans are, where their wife is, where their husband is, whatever, to find out, to get the feel of actually being in the ring. I've done that before, and it works. The problem I see with this, with the fight with Leo, is which you guys are going to have to prepare him for, is he's never done that before. That's
And
critical.
actually, George, if you did talk to Leo, I did talk to him about that. Maybe the last sparring day, making it like a fight. Walking in, having music blasting, and all that. I did mention that to him over on Sunday. So he needs to get that feeling.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys preparing Leo? This is a whole different mix. At 54 years old, getting in there in the ring. What I was watching when I was watching it, you had told me, and both of you had told me, the improvement from when he started to now. Okay, you were working on some things. Obviously, we won't tell him now, but now the last time you saw him working out, you both said he looked good. So, at what point do you say, okay, I'm confident that this is going to go well? But he's still 54 years old. I mean, is there a time that you're going to look at him and say, oh, let's pick up the pace a little bit, let's do something else, or are you guys still confident there?
I think he's confident. I mean, I think I'm confident, and he's put in enough work. He's shown it to you and to other people, but Rich, I mean, I don't know what you think, but I think he's put in enough work. It's just toning up, making sure he uses the jab and other stuff like that. I mean, we're not going to go in great detail, but
he's definitely confident, and I don't know, I've 100% more confident. Like before, like when he first started off, it was a little rocky. I'm not going to lie, but now he's looking crisp. He's looking sharp, and I think I took with this approach, unlike the kids, right? Like at his age, I took his strong suit and made them better, and like the other things are there. It's just not going to come. But his strong suits, his jab, his right hands, they're solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did see that. So that's November 4th, 2023 here, West Side Ballroom, Berwick, PA, right across from the Liquidation Center there in Berwick.
George, I was going to ask you,
Good.
how many times has Mike Tyson just mentally taken out, just by walking into the ring, his opponent, just by mentally?
Right, and that's key. But here's what happened. If you notice, after that's over, see when their first fight happens, like this is their first fight. When they have that first fight, the hardest fight for them is the first minute of their first fight, because everything is on the line right there. If things could go really bad very quickly in that first minute. It just can, because if he is not prepared, the thing is, he doesn't know how he's going to react when that first punch lands. You don't know. You could be okay, or it could get crazy, and you don't know what to do. And then you're in foreign water and don't know. And there's nothing to be said how scary it is to be in front of. I mean, it's going to be sold out. So there's going to be 200 some people. Okay, getting hit. Now you don't have nobody in there. You can't call timeout. That's the scariest part. So I think his opponent's going to be scared, and he's going to be scared. It's going to be the one who takes that being nervous and scared, not scared, I'll say nervous, and getting over that and using that differently than his opponent. So yeah, Mike Tyson did that a lot. Mike Tyson also had the advantage of fighting someone who knew what he had.
But I think Leo's like so committed. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Rich.
I think Leo's been so committed into this, and you've seen that he's working out 3 times a day. Like he's mentally preparing himself. He's putting in the work. So I don't know. I'm pretty confident with him at the moment.
But I'm just going to go on to the Mike Tyson thing. I think you guys saw, once Holyfield saw, and Holyfield's like, look, you're not going to scare me, and you're not going to bully me. Mm-hmm. There was nothing Tyson could do to have that advantage over Holyfield. And then, of course, moves on to the next couple fights.
Right. And then it was almost like when you quit once, or that era of invincibility is gone.
Yep.
The playbook's open, and now all of a sudden people aren't going to be as scared of you. They say, well, that's not so bad. And it affects you as a fighter. It really does.
And I think that affected Tyson, because he was a smaller fighter.
Mhm.
Of course, he had a big punch, but that affected him going into the next fights and fighting his opponents because you take that bulliness away from him. He's just a normal fighter, I think.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And I think the advantage that Leo has is he's big and he's down in weight. I was a little concerned that we're getting close to the 185-pound mark.
Yep.
I mean, he's lost a ton of weight there, going from mid 250 down to 185. That could be a little dangerous, Rich. I mean, I don't know if
How
you.
tall is Leo?
He's about 6'4", 6'5".
Is he that tall? Okay.
Yeah, he's about 6'4", 6'5". Rich, I didn't know if you was that a concern of yours at all? I mean, honestly, you're not speaking out of turn. I mean, you're just
yeah, and that's yeah. Well, of course, but at the same time, I don't know. He's in shape, like he's strong, and I noticed it. I noticed his right hands.
right.
Not to give anything away, yeah, they're pretty strong.
Yeah. Well, he's a big guy. You know, any big guys are.
Yeah.
But I want to move on a little bit before we go because we're all four of us were involved in this. Rita Gigante's essentially documentary that was put together that dropped last Monday. It trended very well right before it got dropped, and then it did, and that pushed us over the edge. Whereas we have that monetization now. We became a YouTube partner as of this morning. I was the Press Enterprise was here doing an article about the podcast, and just as they said, how many subscribers you got, I clicked down and it said, "Congratulations, you're into the YouTube partnership program." A couple questions here. Number one, Jay-Z.
Yep.
How did you get hooked up there that this made this possible?
Jersey.
Well, like I said, Rita actually knows somebody that I know, and she lives maybe like 10 minutes away. So she would do book signings real close by, and I always, I bought her book, and I always started talking to her. And she was 10 minutes away. After that, we exchanged numbers, and from there, one thing led to another, and she came to Berwick to do that interview with you.
Right, and
that's the one thing I would say is living out in PA, North Central PA, and Jersey. Jay-Z living in Jersey. It's just the amount of people over there where the celebrities are. Jay-Z could be walking around the streets and he'll run into some people and be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" So it's just the connection of having Jersey Jay-Z out there and the boots to the ground. I mean, I think that's the good thing about what he's doing out there.
Yeah, right. I'm like 5 minutes from the George Washington Bridge, so I can go to CVS and run into Chris Rock. I could see Tracy Morgan at the pizza store. So they're all here. So it's being right there. I get to talk to him and meet him, and hopefully we can make a connection.
Yep.
Yeah, and we have some that are coming up pretty soon that we'll talk about one that we're not that fell apart. We're going to do that quick, but we'd be remiss but saying one of the highlights of that I'm going to call it a documentary really that we did was the editing, the inserts of all the backstories of what was going on, who John Gotti was, who this person was, who the commission was Rich. How was that process to putting that together? Because laying it out and how it was presented, more people told me that was the best part of it. And matter of fact, Jersey, we just got a text message about how good that interview was with the insights.
Yes, we did. We just did. Yeah, we did.
So, Rich, give me the backstory on that. Like, how did you put that all together?
I guess like the bottom line is I've always had a love of history. And like I'm obviously a teacher, an English teacher. But before I was an English teacher, I was actually going to school to be a history teacher. Before that, so I love creativity. I love doing anything creative. The process was long and somewhat tedious, but in the end, I found all the right clips that correspond together and made it awesome. I actually enjoyed the process. It was actually a lot of fun. Just given that bit of history, but without any context or not I guess not context, but backstory to it that a lot of people didn't know. So it was kind of enjoyable to kind of insert that as she was talking, and I thought that would give it like more depth, so to speak.
And the one thing I noticed in a couple of interviews that I'd seen from her, none of that stuff was covered. The stuff that you guys that you guys none of that stuff was covered. And it felt good to me to do that. I always like to try to find questions to ask people that they've never been asked. Try to get a backstory about them, who they, something in their childhood or something, which it's a little harder to get now about their childhood, but something like that is what I try to do in my interviews. I don't know if you guys have noticed stuff like that.
Yeah. Yep, I did notice that, and I think her medium stuff is really interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Rich, I think personally, firsthand, you can tell, you can go into that a little bit as far as her contacting with you and your
I'm
wife.
sorry. Oh yeah, she contacted my wife. She's my wife is into that kind of stuff, and she's an awesome lady. She said that she would contact Katie Saturday morning, and you know how it is. Like you never know. And she contacted her right away. True
How
to
was
her
A. Johnson?
word, free of charge. Had an awesome conversation with her. So she's a sweet, nice lady.
Yeah, she's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. And right now,
I think she's still in contact with her, actually.
yeah, to be honest with you, we're going to as we move forward with a couple things on our plate, Rich, that we got setting up here. Anthony Ruggiano is looks like he's going to be joining the podcast on a StreamYard interview. First, to get our audience familiar with him. Anthony is the son of Fat Andy Ruggiano. And he was John Gotti's guy, one of John Gotti's guys. I don't know the exact, I don't know if he was a captain or something similar. With that, I think we're going to get him familiar with our audience and then have a night here at the shop. We would do a live stream.
Okay.
Do a live stream here with Anthony and quite possibly have special guest and get him streamed in where he would have a Q&A. It's a big guest, very big guest. I will tell you off the air, Rich.
All right. Do you want me to do like historical stuff again? And
I mean, I think this
together?
is a big one. This is a big one.
Yeah.
And it would be very big to have on our podcast. Today we had a story. The reporter was in here today talking. Susan Schwartz was here talking to me about how the podcast gets set up. I dropped all your guys' names just so you know. So you guys will all be involved in the story. The fact that we're all doing this now is incredibly crazy because we would never be able to do this 4-screen thing here if it wasn't for like a StreamYard or something like that. And the advancements of technology is really put it so that anybody could do this. It's kind of part of our podcast that we want to reach out to other people to do. Do you guys individually have ideas of what you want to see on the podcast? We're going to go right to left here. We'll go with Coach Diz first. Is there anything you want to see that we can add on, or guests that you want to see, or because we're trying to figure out which direction we want to go?
I think a little bit of everything. I mean, I think a little bit of sports, of course. Boxing, movies. We could talk about movies. I know Jay-Z's big into movies. I'm big into movies. Rich, are you big into movies?
Yes. Yeah.
So going back to the whole mafia thing, do you have I told George about this. I was going to ask this. Jay-Z and Rich, what's your favorite mafia movie?
Goodfellas.
Got to be Goodfellas.
Yep.
That seems to be the one. And again, I am not a movie guy. I think the last one I saw was Batman Returns, like back in '89.
I like Casino too, but Goodfellas is the number one.
Yeah.
And since you don't know, in Goodfellas, Anthony Ruggiano's father was mentioned in Goodfellas.
Yeah, he was
Fat Andy.
Yep, Fat Andy. He was there, and that takes us to our next. That won't be a live one. That won't be a live one. There's a lot of changing parts going on here. There's a lot of moving parts with StreamYard and getting this technology down and doing other things. Where we're heading and where let's go now to Jersey. Where do you see, or which ones do you want to see on there, and which ones are you looking at?
Well, obviously, so the interviews are great. I think you do a great job with the interviews. I mean, I love the Stitch Duran interview. I watched it like 4 times already. But I also think we should do things, doing stuff with the community, where we're going to, whether like you said, paying people's light bill or something, and going to their house with the camera. Hello.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm there. No, I'm there. I had to mute a couple people because we were getting a little backlash on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that comes after we get we are monetized now, but when we get
Yeah.
into the 1,000 subscribers
Yeah.
next, so if anyone's watching us, please like, subscribe, share the podcast. It's very important for us to grow as a company. Then we put that stuff back in.
Mhm.
Rich, you on your now, Rich you do a lot of local, so we've had a lot of local stuff, and he's involved with stuff like that. But let's go big picture.
Okay.
Who would you love to see on here that we can get big picture wise?
I don't know anybody specific, but can I derail it and go to somewhere in like a different direction?
You can go anywhere you want.
All right. So like I was talking to your brother, and I think like the ultimate success, because everybody likes it, is just really good. And I told your brother this at the bagel shop actually right before Rita. And that's like just finding people with good stories, because everybody loves it. And I think all of us love it. It's interesting. It's beautiful at the same time. And I think that's what captivates audience, is finding somebody with a great story to tell, stuff that you don't even know, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I think it was, and again, it's a lot of these guys go to different podcasts, so it's like hard to kind of see, okay, did I ask this question? Did this person ask this question? But you'd be surprised at how many people didn't know Rita's backstory of who she was. And they've watched it, they kept watching and watching, and they really get into it. And it shows what kind of what we're doing here. We're a small podcast. Realistically, we're small. We just put together stuff on a shoestring budget. And somehow it works. Somehow it works. We got the editor, we have the guest relations, we have the on-air talent, and then I would finance the stuff. So we have all the components in there to grow. It's now just where we're focusing is important. And I think that we have a couple things that are coming up that are real important in the local area. The school board meetings that we're going to have are vital to our next are going to be vital to our next election here. And that's something that the people want to do. They want to see that here. And that's local stuff. That is local stuff. That has nothing to do with anything. And that'll be small podcasts, but it's local stuff that candidates are going to come on and I'm going to get questions from the community, ask that to them, and then hopefully, they can ultimately decide how they want to do it.
Yeah, George, I haven't been in PA, like I said, but how did the Rita interview the people in PA like it in the bagel store?
Well, I'll tell you what, they like it so much. She's coming back October 14th and doing a book signing here.
Oh, wow.
She's doing it right here at the bagel shop. $40 for the book, signed, pictures, everything you want with her. She'll even sit there and do a reading with you. The people that we've had, and I'm sure Rich would agree, have all been good. Like as far as going above and beyond what they've asked for here. Between Greg, between the Kingery, between Bo and Rita, it's been good. And Rich, I'm sure you've felt that the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just going to say, like, I mean, like you see, and I'm not getting like, I guess I'm getting deep into this, and that's how my mind works. So just bear with me. You always see like the ugly side of humanity, but then you get to see like individual stories, and I think that's cool.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, it does, because people. I'll give Greg as the example. You put those cameras on, and it looks like Greg's a wild lunatic, but outside, he's not. He's a very nice guy. He's a really good guy who actually cares a lot about people. He does.
Hey, George.
Yeah.
Read the chat real quick.
Read the chat real quick. Oh boy. Private chat there. Okay. Well, there we go. Now we got this Jersey. You might want to move over a touch, but Jerry's going to get there. So he's got some stuff going on there. Anyway, let's get us here to get together here with us three here for a little bit.
Okay.
Jersey, Jay-Z, and Rich. If you could real quickly, Rich, give the people who don't know you your background of who you are here and what you're doing here for the podcast, just so they get in context of what you do.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to go in and like
No,
just
no,
me
I'm
on the
waiting for
screen.
you.
We'll just
I'm
do the
waiting for you to
three.
start.
Okay, I was waiting for it to like transfer.
No, go.
No, you don't have to do that. I was just saying. High school teacher. I teach at a school. 10th grade, 12th grade lit. I coach boxing. I've been involved in boxing for many, many years. I'm working out underneath George's Bagel Shop, hitting the speed bag and having you come down and yelling, "Hey, stop hitting the speed bag! Customers are here." I enjoy anything creative. Heavily involved in reading, writing, all that fun stuff, and video editing. I've always been like kind of involved with that, and it's just grown over the years.
Did you ever think that was something that you would do full time?
No, not really. Actually, I thought it was like more of a hobby because I've always been into like photography, and fun video edits. Like with my daughter, we'll do stuff, and I had her, carrying a lightsaber, and I animated that. That was fun.
Well, Jay-Z just perked up.
Right down your alley, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z just perked up. He said a lightsaber.
Yeah, lightsaber. I'll send me your phone number. I'll send you a video. It's actually pretty cool. Took a long time to do for 30 seconds.
Here we go.
Here you go.
You got a freaking lightsaber. This guy is 50 years old. He's 50. He's gonna be 50.
Nothing wrong with being a kid at that age.
Believe me, there's a lot wrong with it. Coach. I hate to tell you, a lot wrong with it. Jay-Z, so for the audience that doesn't know, you live in Dumont, and how did you get in the capacity of doing guest relations there? Was it just something that you wanted to do?
Well, no, I always go to the conventions, that, and I've been going for over 25 years, and I got hooked up with a bunch of the guests, and I started seeing all their handlers, and being here in New Jersey, I run into everybody, and one thing led to another, and said, hey, I'll come on the podcast, and next thing you know, we're going to have some good guests.
Let's go. I want to go around the horn here real quick. Who would be your ultimate guest, Jersey? Ultimate guest, and that's not sliding any of the guests that we had. Who would be our ultimate guest?
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
All right, that's out. All right, next.
You said ultimate guest. I mean, are we going realistic or what?
Yeah, go ahead. What would be your
realistic? I was just about to say Stephen King, but if we're going realistic,
well, no, I'm saying like there's a goal. There's a goal there. Let's put the goal out there. Let's see. This is the goal.
Trying to think anybody off the top of my head. I mean, like besides like famous like things that I would like. I don't know. Like I said, Stephen King. Anybody in the creative realm, I guess. Like if you're going like never gonna happen, Steven Spielberg. That'd be awesome. But that would never happen.
You and Jersey Jay-Z have got to do a podcast together.
Yeah. We get along.
Yeah. Coach Diz, who would be your ultimate?
So I would probably sports. Probably someone with the sports, but I'll do Patrick Bet-David.
Patrick Bet-David. That's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah, I think ultimately my ultimate goal would be Evander Holyfield, to have him on the podcast. I don't know if we'd be able, I don't know how clear he speaks anymore. Honestly, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough hearing him speak. So I think it wouldn't be as if it was back in 92, 93. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's not, something possible right now. But right now it is, what time we got here?
We got 40 minutes.
We've been on for 40 minutes.
Wow.
Let us go real quick around and see what's coming up on the next podcast here. We had Stitch Duran on last week, a couple days ago. We have a couple call-ins to a few boxers and what have you. Our next in-studio guest, was supposed to be Anthony Ruggiano. However, they canceled the Mike Tyson, Michael Francis event in the Beacon Theater, so he did not come up. He didn't fly up. So I'm thinking our next guest would be in sometime. I believe, though, Mr. USA Tony Atlas is going to be a StreamYard right now. Okay. I think there's just too much value with this, or bang for the buck than this, than getting everything situated to get somebody in here. The bigger guest, absolutely, we'd want him in here. I'm trying to get Vanilla Ice. He's literally right down the street. He's 8 miles down the street this week
Ice Ice Baby.
for the Bloomsburg
Yep.
Fair. 8 miles. He won't even return my text messages, and I don't know why.
Got to get Jersey on that.
Jersey, let's see. Can you pull that off?
I don't know.
From Dumont, New Jersey. Can he pull this off?
I don't know. I have to see. I'll have to break out my dance moves.
Yeah, that would be like that. Will you bring out the Zap hat? Remember the Zap hat?
Maybe I have my metal hat at my
He
earring.
had a metal hat on that said Zap at the top, and then there was a fist fight that they had, and Zap got busted off.
Yeah.
Remember? The cop picked it up. Whose is this? So
Yeah.
Zap. That would be him.
That would be me.
The Zap hat. Coach Rich, we're gonna wrap up here with you. We're gonna let you go back to your kid. What's on the agenda for you this week as far as training and then the big event?
This weekend I'm actually taking some time off. I haven't had a weekend off in a while. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, back to training kids, hanging out with my daughter. That's pretty much it. Getting ready for school.
So, Rich, you're not going to work in your house?
No, I'm taking a little break. I have a lot more stuff to do, but I'm taking a break.
How much more? Wait, how much more do you have in that house to do?
Oh no, it's a great house. It's just any house, older house, you got to update things. And I kind of went. I didn't have to, but I went ham on it and did like 90% of the electrical.
Yeah, you certainly did.
Yeah, and redid a bathroom, and it's coming together. It's a beautiful home.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Good.
Yeah,
that's good to hear. Rich, we're gonna let you go.
Okay.
We will let you
talk to you with afterwards.
What's that?
Can I talk to you afterwards?
Yeah.
Put me backstage.
I'll throw you backstage right now.
Cool.
How the hell do I do this here? Let's see. Remove from stage. See you, Rich. What I'll do here now is I will wrap this up here with you guys too.
You got
we're going to wrap up this podcast. We have a couple things we want to do. I'm going to talk to you guys about our upcoming guests. We're going to have some production situations going on. We have to get ourselves closer to some of these fights that are going on and some of these superstars that we're going to have on the show.
Okay.
Once we have them on, we have to figure out this 4-way thing, the 3-way thing. Excuse me, to have the guests on and us on at the same time. I think that's the best value that they get. So I will see Jersey Jay-Z in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
Coach Diz, am I going to see you Sunday?
Yes, you will. I'm training Lee, and then, I'll start with you, go to Lee, come back.
And you might be training some other kid here at the bagel shop because we might have help.
Okay.
We might.
All right.
Believe it or
Anything
not.
else going on? Let's see. Anything else going on? I mean, just football. That's it, really.
It is, and that's about what it is. Jay-Z, is there anything going on with you? Whoops, there goes Jersey Jay-Z.
Any updates?
Any updates, Jay-Z? Where are you? Jay-Z, he thinks he's still on. He's talking. I see him backstage. We're going to put you right back, Jay-Z. There's something we had to do. We forgot. Does this ring a bell, Jay-Z? That is...
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
That is the fantasy football. And if, you look at that, looks like Fat Diz took care of business there.
Yeah, he barely beat me. That's what he's happy about.
Team Chewies.
You showed last week when Alex beat the hell out of him.
Whoa. Okay. Well, that wasn't good, Jay-Z. Anyway,
Jay-Z.
we have that there, Jay-Z. We're gonna talk to you guys later. I'm gonna get out of here because I got to talk to Rich. So
right.
I will talk to you guys all later.
All right.
Take care, guys.